can't do at a gig because they require an audience like this, so somebody to hear the story, and some of these songs are not quite uplifting, if you know what I mean. They're pretty much on the sad side, but this song, there's a really cool story behind this song. So I went to the Angola Penitentiary Rodeo a few years back.
Okay.
And I had never been there before, right? And so it was, it was amazing. It blew my mind. And I went back to work. I was a school teacher. I was a private school teacher at the time, and I was working for this family. And I told my boss, who is the dad in the family, that I had gone to this rodeo. And he said, I'm really good friends with the warden over there. He said, we actually donated money to the penitentiary to build a church there. And, he said, would you like to meet him? And I said, I would. And it's not the current one. It's the one that was before. His name escapes me right now. And he said, well, yeah, why don't, he said, let me give him a call. And he said, you can go meet him, and you can tour the prison. And so, like you're touring some antebellum home or something. But so he did. And I went back over there, and I met with the warden, and he actually took me around the jail. And I got to meet and talk to some of the inmates that were there. He took me down death row, and was instructed, not to look into the eyes of these prisoners at all. And, I got to hear some of the stories of these guys who had been in there since they were 17, 18 years old, and now they were 55. And since, they spent basically all of their lives over there. And, whether or not you believe their stories, I don't know. I don't know if they were truth or lies, but it was their stories and whatnot. And it was a very eye-opening, interesting experience. And so when I got home, I wrote a song about this. And one of the things that was the most interesting to me over there was they brought me to meet the guy who actually took care of the wolves at the penitentiary. There were pure wolves, and there were half wolves that were bred with bloodhounds, and some that were bred with shepherds and whatnot. And I said, why do you have these creatures here? And they said, well, the state defunded some of the penitentiary money, and so they would have night guards on these towers around the penitentiary. And when they defunded the penitentiary, they had to come up with something to do. So what they did was they built where the original fence was around the penitentiary. They built like a 15, 20 yard or 20 foot area, and they put a second fence. And so at night, instead of having the guards on the towers, they would release the wolves and the mixture of dog and wolf. And all of the inmates that I spoke with said they were way more scared of the wolves and the dogs than they were of the guards with the guns. So anyway, I found all of that stuff very interesting. So I went home and I wrote this song, never to perform it because I was there, where am I going to play this song? Who would even get it? And the warden actually called me a couple of months later, and he said, listen, we want to, we always do something for the prisoners around Christmas time. Would you be interested in coming to perform some Christmas tunes in the chapel that your boss built for the inmates? So I thought about it for a while, and I said, you know what? If I'm one of these people that will say yes. If you ask, I will probably say yes. And so myself and Bo Thomas and Roddy Romero went, and we performed for the inmates. Those who were able, behavior-wise, to come to the performance in the chapel came. Those who were not, it was broadcast through the cells throughout the penitentiary. And I had this song on my list. I had Christmas songs, and I had some other songs, and I had this song on my list. And when I came to the song, I was like, I can't do it. Because it's not really a happy song about Angola. It's not like Elvis is burning down the Folsom, prison or whatever. And then when it came time, we had 2 more songs left. And I said, well, if I don't do it for these guys, why did I even write it? I mean, I'm just going to do it, and whatever's going to happen, happens. And so I played the song, and when I finished the song, you could hear a pin drop, and time seemed to cease for eternity. And then all of a sudden, they all stood up, and they just started clapping. It was the most surreal thing I've ever experienced. So here it is. It's called Angola. You're out in the bars all day and all night. No whiskey, no women, no end in sight. When death comes knocking on your bar door, lifetime lonely will be no more. One moment in time and a gun, a lifetime of nowhere to run. Angola. Four walls that surround you and keep you from sin, forever hold secrets regardless of skin. The wolves, they are prowling without any sound. A bay fills the air from an old blue tick hound. One moment in time and a gun, a lifetime of nowhere to run. Angola. No mother, no father, no sister, no soul, just sentenced to hard time till death turns you cold. When death's upon you and calling you home, the gates soon will open